oh yes, oh yes. This Honorable Commission is now in session pursuant to adjournment. May God bless this country and God bless this county. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Schoaf is going to give the invocation tonight. Then we'll do the pledge.
Thank you. Tonight I'm going to share one of my favorite things that I ever learned at West Point. That's a modified version of the cadet prayer. Please pray with me. God, our Father, maker of heaven and earth, help us to draw near to thee in sincerity and truth. May we be filled with gladness, and may our worship of thee be sincere. Strengthen and increase our admiration for honest dealing and clean thinking, and suffer not our hatred of hypocrisy and pretense ever to diminish. Encourage us as we endeavor to live above the common mean of life. Make us to choose the harder right over the easier wrong, and never to be content with the half-truth when the whole might be won. Endow us with the courage that is born of loyalty to all that is noble and worthy, and scorn to compromise with vice and injustice, and know no fear when truth and right are in jeopardy. Guard us against flippancy and irreverence in the sacred things of life. Grant us new ties of friendship and opportunity of service, and kindle in our heart fellowship of those with a cheerful countenance. Soften our heart and sympathy for those who sorrow and suffer. Help us to maintain our honor as we endeavor to serve those who we represent. All of this we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we do the roll call. If you can put that on the board.
Each commissioner record your presence.
Okay. Mr. Teachner let me know he will be here probably in the next few minutes. I know Mr. Wright, Mr. Wynn, and Mr. Pomeroy are not here tonight. Things requiring majority votes will still need 13, and those that are requiring 2/3 of vote will still need 16 votes. Again, Mr. Cheechner is actually trying to get through the locked door over here, if someone would be so kind. All right. Is there a motion to approve the regular agenda? It's a motion. Is there a second? Okay, motion and a second. Yeah, there's people in the queue here if you want to grab and jump in the queue. Oh. Okay. All right. Real quick before I call on you, a couple things from my standpoint. I believe 9A is being pulled. 9C, he's not here, but we'll go ahead and vote on that. On the certificates of recognition, items F through K, the 6 different Merrill Hyde school teams, they're here tonight. Talking to Mr. Hyde, who's going to be presenting. We'll end up presenting them all, and then we'll just do afterwards, we'll do in a group and approve, so we're not having to vote on every single one. So once he's done with the presentations, I'll ask for a motion to group and approve on those. And then Mr. Brown.
Yes, I move to sever the county and school budgets. The state comptroller's report stated that there was $143 million in reserves from the 2024 budget, and this budget right here, 2026-27, says it only has $50 million plus. This is a huge discrepancy. Money is being hidden from the county and then use the rules of the 1981 Act to keep the budgets together when the county finance director has no visibility into their finances. The 1981 Act was a situation in which the county finance director was the overall authority for finances. And right now we have two financial systems. The prediction of revenue by the school board
Hey,
also
let
has...
me interrupt you for a second. I was looking through our rules and procedures, and I looked down to miscellaneous rules, item H, and our budgets, it said there, our budget shall be severed, so we'll go ahead and do that without a vote.
Good enough. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Jones.
Thank you. I was just going to make sure we noted Commissioner Teacher's presence since he arrived after the vote to show who was here.
Okay. Thank you. Did you get his vote or his presence? Okay, Mr. Mansfield.
I would like to add term limits to the agenda.
There's a motion and a second. Let's put that on the board. It will need 13 votes to get added to tonight's agenda. Let's put that on the board.
Each commissioner record your vote.
Okay, that fails to get 13. Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was wondering, in December of 2025 at the Planning Commission meeting, we approved a resolution to go ahead and have containers voted on by this body. As far as right now, they are not permitted, period. And we gave a positive resolution to have them permitted. It's now 6 months hence. And we had, the document was Resolution 2025-02, I believe. And this came up in legislative a couple of weeks ago, I believe. And the whole point was to have, go ahead and get them permittable so that then codes could create the enforcement requirements for the permitting. So I would like to add that back into the agenda.
Okay. So it's the
Allowing shipping containers to be used as various kinds of buildings in unincorporated county. The resolution says, a resolution amending the Sumner County zoning resolution related to the regulation of shipping containers.
Okay, and there's a second. I see Mr. Harrison's in the queue. I know he's the chair of legislative. Is it speak on this or something else? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just as a reminder that this is in old business in legislative. It was deferred until July, so my understanding of our rules is it would require 16 votes to pull it out of committee. Is that correct?
No, we can add it with 13 votes. Any other? No one else in the queue. Let's put that on the board. This would need 13 votes to add to the agenda, tonight's agenda.
Each commissioner record your vote.
Okay, fails to get 13 votes. No one else in the queue. Let's put the, there's a motion and a second for the agenda. Let's put it on the board to vote.
Each commissioner record your vote.
Okay, we've got ourselves an agenda. All right, is there a motion for the consent agenda approval? Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So that's unanimous. Approval, is there a motion for approval of the minutes May 18? It's a motion and a second. No one in the queue. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So that's unanimous. Certificates of recognition. Again, item 9A has been pulled off the agenda, so we are on item 9B. Mr. Hyde will be presenting to Hendersonville High School Marine Corps Junior ROTC. Mr. Hyde, And the recipient, is the recipient here tonight? There's a lot of people in the crowd. Okay, so there's a motion to approve. There's a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Show that's unanimous. Thank you, sir. 9C is not here, but is there a motion to approve? And a second? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Show that is unanimous. Moving on to a couple of very special recognitions. Ms. Templeton will be presenting first, item 9D, Anita Keene, retirement with 41 years of service. So, Ms. Keene, if you're here, we'll do both together if that's fine. Ms. Veronica Brown is also retiring with 30 years of service. So, Ms. Keene and Ms. Brown and family members who are here, and Mr. Kemp, it's been a while. Great to see you back in the chambers. If anyone else would like to join, but Ms. Templeton, do you head up there?
I hope I don't get emotional because this is really hard when you've worked with someone as long as we've worked together. Anita came to work in our office right out of high school. She's been with us for 41 years. She's been my chief deputy for the last 4, and she's retiring tomorrow. And so I'm happy for her, but sad for me and for the office. Veronica has been with us for 30 years. She was our office manager in Hendersonville, and she retired in March, and you can't replace 70-something years. So we're losing a lot, but I'm happy for each one of them. And Mr. Kemp's here with us because we've all worked together. We're not just co-workers, we're a family. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to group and approve these two items. All in favor say aye. Aye. 41 years and 30 years. That is amazing. Thank you all. Thank you both very, very much, and to your families for their sacrifices throughout the years and all the support they provided. You'll definitely be missed. All right, next, again, this is the Merrill Hyde sports teams. We're going to end up grouping and approving these, Mr. Hyde. We'll call up the boys track team first. To the boys track team. I know it's summertime. Some of these teams may be small, small in attendance.
We really had more than
can
one
stand this
person.
way.
You can come over here on the track team. But you will be a good representative for everybody. Yeah, I want to first of all say, I want to remind everyone in the room here that Merrill Hyde Magnet School is in all of your districts. I meet kids from Westmoreland, Portland, Gallatin, Hendersonville, one just recently in Greenfield Lane, which is between Castaic Springs and Bethpage. So that is a school that belongs to all of us individually. Very proud of these kids. Now, these are very, very smart kids. You have to test out to even be considered for Merrill Hyde Magnet School. And the fact is that every single sport that is offered at the school in the spring went to state competition. And that was what this was all about. Now, consider this also, that of the hundreds of schools in the TSSAA, the Magnet School is second to the smallest in the entire state. So they are the smallest of the small, competing against many other larger schools. So we're very, very, very proud of these young people. Now, I believe you're Adlai Stevenson. No, I'm sorry, Stevenson. That shows you how old I am. I go back to Senator Stevens. Adlai is, I believe, 6th grade, aren't you?
I'm going into my freshman year.
Going into the freshman year. Okay. We are very honored to have you. Tell us just real quickly what you competed in and what you did.
I competed in the 1600 and the 800.
And placed where?
And I placed 6th in both of my events.
Very proud of you. Well, I'm going to give you this certificate. I'm going to give you this certificate, and I will have a medal for you. I'll take it to the school. I'll have the medals there because we have so many that are not here to get their medal. If you can pick it up there for me.
Right,
Thank you for coming.
All right, next we have the girls track team. If anyone, there we go. Got a couple.
Thank you, ladies, for being here this evening, and to make sure that I'm correct on everything, I will ask you to introduce yourself real loudly to everyone and tell us what you competed in and if you placed.
I'm Bailey, and I competed in the 4x400, and we placed 8th. I'm Ava, and I competed in the 32. I placed 8th in that, and then in the 4x8, we placed 7th.
Thank you so much, and we will have your medals at the school, and if you will just see that the school gets this certificate. Thank you so much.
Next, we'll do the tennis teams. Depending on how many, we can do the boys and girls maybe at the same time.
Oh, we can do that.
Okay. Are any of the tennis players here tonight? You can come up. Okay.
Okay, a good response from tennis. All right. I'm going to let the ladies go first, and ladies, if you would give us very loudly your name and what you did as far as a team this year or individually.
Okay. I'm Ava. I was on the tennis team, and we were state champions.
I'm Rachel, and I got to go to state for the first time this year.
I'm Willow, and I won state doubles.
I'm Logan. I did doubles with Willow, and we also won state team together.
Won the state. Okay, great. Is your coach here by any chance?
It's right there. Right.
All right, would you stand?
Coach?
Okay, thank you. And ladies, you will be able to pick your medals up at the school, if you will. And the boys tennis team, guys, if you will tell us what you competed in and how you did.
My name is Kellen. I'm a rising freshman, and with my team, we won state. So.
I'm Lois. I played 1 seed in the team competition, and I also won doubles with Declan Cleary, who is not present.
I'm Carson, and I'm a rising sophomore, and as a team, I competed in the starting 5, and we won state.
Alongside Kellen, I'm a rising freshman, and I was top 6 on the tennis team.
Okay, it's quite an accomplishment that these young men are the single A state champs this year. Thank you, guys. Okay, you all may have a seat, and make sure your coach gets the certificate. Your medals will be available at the school for you.
All right, next up is the girls flag football team, if any of those members are here tonight. She played several positions.
I'll tell you, you don't know this young lady. She is quite an athlete.
Sure.
She plays basketball also and is an A1 athlete. Flag football was a new TSSAA sport this year, and the girls across the state really took to it, but there were only 2 classifications, so Merrill Hyde played some much larger schools, and yet I think we're in the finals, were you not? State runner-up to in girls flag football. If you will, introduce yourself.
My name is Melanie Pratt. I'm going to be a junior next year. I'm the quarterback.
Okay. Your medal will be available at the school. And this man right here, not only is flag football, he's an attorney who devotes his time to flag football and coaches the girls' soccer team, which has been very, very successful at the Magnet School. I don't know when he practices law, but anyway, he does a great job.
Can I say one special thing?
Yeah, sure.
So it was a new sport for us this year, obviously, and first year out there. It was quite interesting, to say the least, when we did a poll of the soccer girls just asking who might be interested. So we got a good group of the soccer girls, and then we added a couple of volleyball girls and added a couple of basketball girls. And, you know, first time running through to make it to the state finalist was pretty fun to do. This player right here beside me, though, is a special one. One of the things you need to be successful in flag is you need some height, you need some speed, and you need a girl who can spin it. And Melania is the Sumner County Player of the Year this year in our first year as a program. And she also carries a 3.95, is a rising junior, and so we're looking for more out of her next year. So, thank you.
Okay, so that leads us to the boys soccer team. If any of those players are here, okay.
Okay, I know a couple of these guys too well, but also basketball players. The soccer team, if you would introduce yourself, please, and tell us how your team did this year. Aiden, start.
My name is Aiden, and my team made it all the way up to state.
My name is Anderson, and my team made it to state.
My name's Colby, and we made it to state.
My name is Thomas, and we made it to state.
My name's Roland, we made it to state.
My name is Kieran, and we also won districts and regionals as well as we made it to state.
My name is Duncan, and we made it to state. My name is Carter, and we made it to state. My name is Mitchell, and we made it to state.
We're proud of you guys, and if you would see that your coach gets this certificate, Raul here is the brother of Melania, who was just up here. So there's a lot of athleticism in the family, and I think I see Dr. Corrett and his wife in the back, the parents. So we're glad to have you also, and all other parents here tonight. If you'll see that the coach gets that, and we'll have the medals available to you at your school you can pick up. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. So, Mr. Hyde, we'd like to make a motion to group and approve items F through K. And there's a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. So that's unanimous. Okay, here is your certificates. Okay, we'll move on to resolution, the item L, resolution 2606-05. Deputy Joseph Hutcherson is retirement and authorizing the award of service weapon and badge. He is not here tonight, but I'll entertain a motion. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. So that's unanimous. All right, moving right along. Recognition of the public. Who can hand me that sheet? This is agenda items only. Okay. All right. First up we have, well, I guess before we call people up, these comments are limited to 5 minutes. Please don't address any elected official by name. If we've got a few signed up. If there's someone else that's already come up and spoken what you're planning to speak, you can come up and just agree with them instead of repetitive type of nature. But we'll start off with Jim Latimer, and then Mike McClard will be after Mr. Latimer. You can state your name and your address and your agenda item, and then you can proceed.
Jim Latimer, 1578 Latimer Lane, Hendersonville, Tennessee. I'm here to speak about the Brown House. First of all, let me thank y'all for letting us come in and speak to you and for representing us and making our voices heard. Recently, some rumors have been going around that the Brown House has not been included in the budget for next year. Now, I know that there's a separate account for that house and everything, and I just want to encourage everybody to keep that house on the front burner. It's been 9 years. Mr. Brown left a tremendous gift to the county and to the school system. That house could be used for so much education and so much historical purposes right there. So it's something that we need to go ahead and get going, keep the ball rolling on it. We've let it, drift around for this period of time now. And I would encourage everybody to support that every opportunity we get. We had wished to have it done by the anniversary, the 250th anniversary. We have not made it there. Again, this is a treasure that is important to the county. I have no relation to Mr. Brown, but my family built the house, and we're proud of that fact. These people that built that house laid down fortune, liberty, freedom. If things had fallen a different way, I might not be here today. They put it all on the line. So we think that house deserves to be preserved and set forward as an example for Sumner County. Thank y'all for listening to us.
Okay, thank you. Mr. McClard, name, address, agenda item, and then Kevin Baker will be next.
Mike McClard, 102 Tioga Trail. Let me push that back. I don't think with my loud mouth it's necessary. I echo everything that Mr. Latimer just said. I beg you to continue forward with this. I'd also like to talk about, I was sitting here looking at Resolution 2606-11, which I'm assuming that's the budget. In it, it shows the county commissioners, county commission, $546,936. That includes, I'm pretty sure, the proposed raise that is out there. I would ask you to get rid of that. This is what I consider a public service, that you serve on this, with a servant's heart. Up until a couple years ago when we started coming to these meetings with concerning the Brown House, I didn't even know that y'all got paid. I was very impressed with that fact, and then I was disappointed when I found out that some of you are doing it for the money. I would really think that a servant's heart is what you need for this job. And I would ask that you nix that. I understand it's supposed to come back up in one of the budget meetings or something, but I would totally request that you get rid of that. And thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, sir. Mr. Kevin Begert, and then Chris Shoemaker will be after that. Mr. Begert?
Thank you. Kevin Baker, 424 A.B. Wade Road. I'd like to talk to you about the tax rate and the budget. First of all, thank you to the Budget Committee and the Finance Department, which diligently worked to piece together a budget that keeps the tax rate at the 1.421. We appreciate that. Also, thank you to all the department heads that held the line on the 2.63% increase in their salaries. That's the good part. The part that's a little disturbing is that when I look at the overall budget, the budget grew by 14.4%. And that's a problem. You know, when you look at the average income of retirees in Sumner County and in Tennessee, Social Security is about $1,958 a month. Okay, so, and COLA is supposed to be anywhere from 3.8 to 4.2%. So that's about $900, $987 a month they're going to get, or, I'm sorry, for the year, more for their pay. But some of these people that are getting, you know, $150,000 a year jobs, they're getting 2.63%. That's almost $3.9 thousand. That's a big jump. You know, it's 3 to 4 times what the average retiree in Sumner County is going to get. So yes, you won't have to raise the property taxes this rate, but that additional 14.4%, that's money that's being spent that doesn't have to be spent. That could be saved for when we have a rainy day. So we put off a tax increase. So I'm looking forward to seeing some sharpening of the pencil, maybe cutting the overall budget a little bit, which takes it to the 90% increase from $500 to $950 per month. Again, when you're talking about people making, a couple $1,000s a month for their total retirement, this is a big deal. That 90% increase, along with the 154% increase in the retirement, so you get to get a pension also. Now, it's not a lot of money on the overall budget, but it does impact things, and it just doesn't look good. You know, this stipend hasn't changed for many years, but the 90% increase is a little over the top. So again, I'm expecting some big cuts, maybe some robust discussion, even if it takes all night. But regarding the budget, did anybody pick up on the fact that the school system budget grew by about 12.3%, yet the regular instruction program funding grew by only 3.1%. The alternate instruction program grew by 3.5%, special education grew by 6.1%, and the career and technical education program shrunk by 20.8%. Now, that might not be a big deal, but that's where the teachers get paid. And for all of the y'all here that are going to be sitting here in future years that are going to have to see this room filled with teachers all saying that they need to be paid, they could be paid right now. They should be paid right now. They should get the money now and cut some of the overhead that we don't need. Okay, so I think you need to really sever that, and I guess you've already severed it, but take a close look at that, because that's what's really wagging the dog, the education system. And while I'm on the school, I'm going to echo what a couple people talked about with the Brown House. Mr. Brown died almost 9 years ago, and you see that $277,000 that went to the Brown endowment, that was his $8 million. And in that last will and testament, he asked to have the Latimer House fixed. 9 years later, it's not done. That's a real disservice and a kick in the teeth. I really, I appreciate what Gen Ops has done and the work that they've done, but there's been a lot of obstacles. And I see more obstacles down the road with this upcoming election. Please don't let that stop. You know, we're in 250 years right now. Jonathan Latimer was a key at the Battle of Saratoga. Then he decided to move his family to Sumner, Tennessee. That's a big deal, folks. We need to take pride in our history. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Chris Shoemaker, and then Tab Matthews after that. Your name, address, and agenda item, please.
Chris Shoemaker, 1018 Silver Lake Lane up in Portland. So I'm going to keep this short. I know y'all have a long night ahead of you. I'm going to ask two things tonight regarding the budget. The first I'm going to ask is to amend the proposed budget and add the position of the fire coordinator into the line items there that's been recommended from the ad hoc committee. This position allows for the coordination and the consolidation of efforts in the volunteer fire departments in protecting the taxpayer investment that's made every year. This position will strengthen the relationship between the volunteer departments and all the career departments, law enforcement, EMA, and the other fire departments in the county. It will allow for a stronger, simple, and centralized funding request for the volunteers during the budget process. Some will question where the funding for this position is going to come from. So TVA is required every year to profit share with state, county, and municipalities in which they provide electrical services through pilot funds. So in 2025-2026, Sumner County received approximately $2.3 million through that profit sharing. Each city received their own portion of funds beyond that. Gallatin got roughly $675,000, Hendersonville's was $831,000, and Portland's was $177,000. Over the past 5 years, the average increase year over year has been $152,898. That should be more than enough to cover the position's salary and any benefits year over year. The second request I have is piggybacked off of the first. Provide the funding for the coordinator and then allow that position to do the work that the ad hoc has started and what we've designed that position to do. Increase the funding for this year's volunteer fire department's funding to $100,000 per station. And then next year and the following, you will have a detailed person and a detailed funding request that comes from the departments through the budget committee with one person to answer to and one person to answer any questions they've had. The ad hoc has done a lot of work to determine where we currently sit as a fire department and where we're going to need to be in the coming years. Let the government be proactive instead of reactive for a change. We all know that this year they passed the House Joint Resolution deeming the fire service essential and encouraging all governments to provide that for all citizens. We all know that happened with EMS several years ago, and then it became a statutory requirement. We all see the writing on the wall. We know it's coming for fire service. Let's be proactive and start these steps now. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Tab Matthews, then after that will be Mr. Brad Rowell. You state your name, address, and agenda item, please.
Hello, Tab Matthews, Assistant Chief, Highland Fire. I live at 110 Wheeler Street in Portland. And thank you all for letting me speak tonight and allowing us to speak. I'm not very happy, honestly, that I'm having to come up here again and, ask that money be given to the volunteer fire service. We made really good strides last year, had a lot of really good meetings, a lot of really good educational meetings and talks, and we go backwards. Last year, we were able to accomplish a lot countywide with that extra funding we got. One fire department bought a new truck. My fire department was able to pay off debt on our station we just built. We were able to buy another truck. We were able to purchase more gear and everything like that. And now we're dealing with budget cuts to each volunteer fire department. So what we accomplished last year is more or less negated, just because that money is no longer allotted to us. So I'm encouraging to look into that. We're not asking for an increase, we're asking for what we got last year. And, like I said, we were able to accomplish a whole lot countywide with that, and it would be a very disservice for us to have to go backwards. I know there was mention about using some extra funding to match our fundraising efforts and donations and grants. Grants are hard to get. There's no guarantee we're going to get a grant. My department's applied 4 years in a row for a grant for a new truck. We've been denied 4 years in a row for a new truck through FEMA. They're extremely competitive. The state grants are getting more and more competitive as the popularity grows. Donations are hard to get. My department spent this year at the Strawberry Festival of Portland, we were there for over 12 hours interacting with the public, you know, pictures with the truck, education, stuff like that. We raised $182 for 12 hours. So that paid for our fuel to go to the Strawberry Festival, more or less. So funding based off getting donations and off getting grants is not going to be advantageous to us because we don't know how much that's going to be. So I would encourage y'all to help us out, get us back up to where we were last year, and then, as it was mentioned earlier, that can help us build towards things in the future. So thank you, guys.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Brad Rowell, and then after that, Cynthia McClard. Is that your name, address, and budget, or your agenda item?
I'm Brad Rowell. I live at 152 West Roberts Road in Portland. I am the fire chief of Oak Grove Community Fire District. Just like the previous gentleman said, we're hurting, right? We're always hurting. The county fire service in Sumner County has always been hurting. Things cost money. It's unfortunate. A roll of hose that I just got through purchasing for my fire truck is $250 for 50 feet. $250 for a 50-foot section of hose. Things aren't getting any cheaper. I ask you to look at your heart. Look at your families that drive through the county, right? We have people that live in the cities, and I understand that. You have a fire department that takes care of the cities. But in the county, your rural volunteer fire departments are taking care of those. And we're trying to do our best with what we have. Try to be good stewards of the money that we have. We really urge you, please, to help us out. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Cynthia McClard, and then Curtis Williams after that. Name, address, and agenda item, please.
My name is Cynthia McClard. I live at 102 Tioga Trail in Hendersonville, Tennessee. I'm here concerning the Brown House, and I hate to be up here again, but it seems like month after month after month, week after week after week, I'm up here fighting for the Brown House. It's a little piece of property built in 1790 on the Liberty, if you're not familiar with it, it's on the Liberty Creek school system, right between the middle school and the elementary school, but you can't see it because of the trees. Mr. Brown left quite a bit to Sumner County. One of the things that he left to Sumner County that he specifically wanted done was to take care of his house. And he died 9 years ago. This was in his will. This was in his codicil, which I have read over and over and over again. And if you want to hear it, I probably have it memorized. So it's not fair. What good is a will? What good is a codicil if it gets ignored? And I doubt very seriously that a park can even be built now, because there's signs posted all over the Liberty Creek land saying, do not get on this property because of reptiles or something like that. I don't know. So you're talking about a park that maybe was supposed to be 80 acres? You can't because of these reptiles. And I don't know who put the signs there, TDEC or whatever, but for Pete's sakes, just take care of this man's house. That's what he wanted. And it's been through ages and ages and ages. And I don't know if y'all have seen a picture of the Brown house now, but it is brick. And underneath the brick is siding. But underneath the siding are huge hand-sewn logs. And we just want it as a masterpiece for our Sumner County, for every school. I was at a get-together Saturday night, and a lady that I was talking to, she was a teacher in Sumner County, and we were talking about the Brown House. She said, I don't know what's going on with the Brown House. I said, I don't know what's going on with the Brown House. I honestly don't. But she said, her being in the education area, she said, Do you know what this brown house could do for kids in Sumner County? You would have schools. I said, I know, I've already mentioned that over and over. You have Westmoreland, you have Portland, you have Hendersonville, you have Gallatin. Schools that can take free field trips to the Brown house. And wouldn't Mr. and Mrs. Brown and the Latimers be ecstatic when they saw the finished results of the Brown house? And I cannot express enough what the Brown house does to me. Secondly, I would like to go over the budget. I know there's been some talk, and I'm a citizen. I'm just a plain citizen. I don't know what is being talked about in the budget meetings about the commissioners getting a raise. Commissioners, y'all work for us. We're the citizens. If you're going to give the commissioners a raise, give it to the firemen. My house, where it sits on Tioga Trail on Long Hollow Pike, that area is not mandated by Gallatin City Fire Department. It is not mandated by the Hendersonville City Fire Department. Our house depends on the Shackle Island Fire Department volunteer firemen. We have seen 2 houses burn totally to the ground. And you know how sad that is at Thanksgiving when you see a house burn to the ground? Because there's not enough money to pay the firemen and get what they need. And this couple was a young couple, and they had 2 small children. And they had to rush the kids over into another house. Am I done?
Yes, ma'am, your time is up.
Okay, I've got one more paragraph to read.
Well, I'm sorry, we need to move on. I
Okay,
appreciate
well,
that.
I'll save it for the next
All
one.
right, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
So anyway, y'all get the point.
Thank you. Curtis Williams. Name, address, and agenda item.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Curtis Williams, 1027 Jackson Heights, Millersville, Tennessee. I am here again, another year, volunteer fire department budget. This year, they passed House Joint Resolution 0790. It was passed unanimously from both state legislatures and signed by the governor that literally says that they are calling volunteer fire service an essential service in the county. No, that does not have a TCA code yet. However, the state legislature has literally told us that if a county our size has citizens that are not covered by a fire department, that is the opening that the state would need to pass a TCA code. So at this point, I don't know what else to do. The state has said it's an essential service. We're still one of the worst funded fire departments in the entire state. By any metrics whatsoever, we're still one of the worst. And we have so many commissioners in this state, in this county, that says we're supposed to be one of the biggest, strongest counties in the entire state, and yet when it comes to the fire service, it's horrific. It makes no sense whatsoever. We finally get in October of last year, we get to the $100,000 per station. We thought that was going to be it for a while. We'd at least get it to that point, and now we're getting cut again this year. They do have $100,000 for each department, and then they have $60,000 for each station. My apologies. It has been a long day. They have $100,000 for each department. This is why I write stuff down. All right, never mind. Y'all know where I'm getting at. Y'all look at the budget. You can see where we were last year at the end of it. We had $100,000 per station. We're only off by about $160,000 this year. That's the total that was cut. If we can just get the $160,000 back in the budget, that would make it to the same as what it was last year. At least that would signify it. They've even said that if you give them the 90,000 and then take 10,000 away from each station, they'll be happy with the coordinator. So you've got fire chiefs who are literally saying, we're okay giving some of this money back so that the long-term future of the fire departments is better off. Because the coordinator, if y'all want us to get grants, the coordinator can help write the grants. If you want oversight of the fire departments through the county commission, you can do that with a coordinator. You do not have to have building and fire codes to do it. They can coordinate the contracts, the mutual aid and the automatic aid between the cities and the VFDs. Pretty much every metric that the county commission has asked for can be fixed with the coordinator position. In politics, no fire department or politician or any department ever in any county has ever said, give us oversight. We will give money back. Everything that these people do is not for political hit points. They're not trying to put money in their own pocket. None of these guys get paid. It's not like they're coming and saying, hey, give me a salary increase. They don't get any money for this. This is 100% volunteer. All they're asking for is the resources they need to fight the fires, to work the car wrecks, and every person in this county drives on Highway 109. The kids that go to Liberty Creek, the kids that go to Beach High School, these are all covered by county VFDs. The cities do not leave their city limits unless they're requested by a fire chief. Just please don't make me come another year. Please give the coordinator. Please, please, I beg of you at this point. Yeah, I'm 12 years in. There's county commissioners that have been up here for 30 years trying to get some of this stuff accomplished. The ad hoc committee asked for it. It passed through Health and Emergency Services. Just please put it in the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That concludes our recognition of public on agenda items. Moving on to report of the chair. Your veteran service report is attached, and financial statement memo is included for docketing purposes. Next item is a public notice. Ms. Templeton.
The Sumner County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing on June 29th, 2026 at 7:00 p.m. in the Bethel Brown Commission Chambers of the Sumner County Administration Building, located at 355 North Belvedere Drive, Gallatin, Tennessee. Riggs Highway 31W PUD, Major Plan Amendment, R. Reynolds LLC, represented by Richard Graves Land Surveying, 4th Commission Voting District, Dylan Lambert. Applicant is seeking a major plan amendment for the purpose of requesting an additional building for mini storage use. Subject property is located at 4624 Highway 31W, Cottontown, Tennessee, 37048. Is tax map 036, parcel 008.01, contains 2.48 acres, and is zoned rural preservation. The Sumner County Regional Planning Commission forwarded a positive recommendation related to this item on April 21st, 2026. A copy of this notice is on file at the Sumner County Planning and Engineering Department in the Sumner County Administration Building, located at 355 North Belvedere Drive, Gallatin, Tennessee. Anyone having any interest or desiring to ask questions concerning this request is invited to attend this meeting or call 615-451-6097. Persons wishing to speak on agenda items shall sign up for public comment on the sheet provided at the meeting immediately prior to the commencement of the meeting.
Thank you. And I don't believe anyone signed up for this. So the next item on the agenda is to approve the major plan amendment. Is there a motion? So moved. Is there a motion and a second? Ms. Miller, you would like to speak on this?
Yes, it did receive a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission, but I voted no for this for a couple of reasons. They had come to us the first time and asked for amendment change, and then it is in the rural preservation area, and I think adding another building is completely against everything that we voted for and passed in the rural preservation area.
All right, thank you. No one else in the queue. Let's put this on the board.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. It did not receive 13 required votes. Okay, next item on the agenda is to appropriate $3 million. We talked about this last month. There's a motion and a second. Let's put this one on the board.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay, so that's unanimous. That concludes report of the chair, report of the county officials, written reports to be filed by the county officials. Next up, item 12B is the notaries. Is there a motion? Motion and a second. Let's put that on the board. 2606.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Notaries. Okay, moving right along here. Health and Emergency Services. No report. Education. No report. Highway. Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution 2606-08, a resolution accepting Everest Drive and Robert Lee Drive in Creekview Estates Subdivision, Section 4, Phase 2 as a county road, and I so move.
Motion and second, Mr. Jones.
I just had a question about that. If the highway chairman knows the answer to this, was that a area that was de-annexed, or is that all county out there? That whole subdivision's county?
It's the final phase of an already approved subdivision plat. This is just accepting all the other roads in there have already been accepted.
But the whole subdivision's county?
Yes.
Okay.
No one else in the queue. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Show that passes unanimous. Mr. Harrison? Anything else, Mr. Harrison? No. Okay, all right. So I already got Mr. Harris saying no report for Gen Ops. Mr. Harris, no report there. Committee on Committees, Ms. Bergdorf.
Yes, we met tonight, and Josh Cross on the Solid Waste Board for a 2-year term, and Daisy Casey, 5-year term, Airport Authority, both received unanimous support.
Is there a motion? Motion group and approve, and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Show that's unanimous. Ms. Bergdorf, anything else? All right, moving right along. Mr. Harrison, legislative. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution 2606-09 to approve Planning and Engineering Department to apply for a HUD automated permitting systems demonstration grant. I so move.
Motion and a second. No one in the queue. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that is unanimous. Anything else, Mr. Harrison? Okay. Moving on to budget. Mr. Shove.
All right, here we go. Starting off 2606-10 to fix the tax levy in Sumner County for FY.
Motion.
Second.
Second. No one in the queue. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Right.
So item 10 passes unanimous.
2606-11, because we accepted the change to sever this, my next comment is going to be specific to the county budget only, excluding schools. So this is to make appropriations, and what I'd like to do is get in queue immediately once I do this to make a few amendments. But make appropriations to approve corresponding budgets for the various funds, department, institutions, and offices in Sumner County, Tennessee. I so move.
All right, I apologize. So that was a motion and a second?
Motion and a second. I'd like to get in queue with a couple of minutes here.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so the first one, maybe it makes sense to do these each one at a time because they're all a little bit different. The first one is to make an amendment to go ahead and carry over $520,997 for the Brown House.
So move.
Okay. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's unanimous.
Okay, the second one is a similar thing with the ADA playgrounds. That's $249,290.43.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And the third one, this is something I mentioned when we were in legislative. Note that in legislative, I tend to try to not do a lot of amendments to the budget once it's passed. However, with legislative, we voted to defer the approval of the raises, the commissioner raises. So what I'm going to make a motion here to do is reduce the commissioner budget line item by $156,902. And what this does is this sets us back to the last, to the previous year in terms of salary. That's my motion.
Okay. There's motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, I heard one no. Okay. All right, Mr. Lambert's no. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Schoen? No one else is in the queue, so let's put Mr. Mansfield's in the queue now.
I mean, this is for the county general.
This is county general, yes.
I have some questions. I have a question on page 90 of our budget under capital projects for building improvements, former General Sessions courtroom for $6,280,253, up from, I guess, nothing. I remember in GenOps, when I was chairman last year on GenOps committee, it was coming through a request for the one for the drug court that we're looking at about $600,000 for renovating their space, and they were getting opioid granting as well, grant funding. And I know the sheriff had mentioned at one point asking up to $4 million to renovate that space, but I'm just curious how this increased to with 6.2, almost $6.3 million. I was just surprised to see that in there when it wasn't before. So I guess I have a question about that, what that's for.
Okay, I'll bounce that to Mr. Show for Ms. Browning.
This is, Ms. Browning, you can correct me here. I think this is for the General Sessions, the courtroom. This is this is not.
Former. It says former General Sessions courtroom, which is the old building.
Go ahead. What were you going to say, Ms. Brown? So, I mean,
turn Ms. Browning's microphone on.
No, it's okay. I mean, she's going to say it's an estimate from an architect. When we put this out, I think we initially did, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, we put out, I think, $100,000, I believe, to get an architect, and they came back with an estimate.
Okay.
That's just what the estimate was.
So is that for that's just renovating space for the sheriff as well as the, I guess, the drug court? Is that?
Yeah. No, wait. Just the sheriff's.
So that 6.2 million is just for the sheriff's? I mean, that's a pretty big jump from $4 million a year ago, so, okay. I guess I had a question about, I saw on page 91, building construction for an EMS 8 at Oak Grove and an EMS 14 in White House, approximately about $7.5 million. Is that being, I guess, being funded as far as like also the overhead for staffing? And I mean, what is this?
So there's not, I can.
Go ahead, sir.
So this was part of a plan that we actually started, and the mayor can speak on this as well, but this was a part of a plan that we started 2 years ago, whereby we didn't intend to build, we don't intend to lay on personnel for a location that isn't built yet. So we did put on, for one of the stations, about 2/3 of the full staff this year. But the second one is, we're not staffing yet. It won't be finished for at least 2 terms. I believe that's correct. Yeah. It's a replacement. And if I misspoke, please, Mr. Mayor or Ms. Browning, correct me.
Okay, Mr. Mansfield?
Okay. I did appreciate, I guess it was mentioned how our budget's grown by 14% this year. I know in June of 2023, we actually cut our budget by almost 7%, about $14.2 or $14.6 million. So I know some things we've done that I've agreed with. I know we brought some departments more commensurate with the market, which I felt had not been done in the previous commission. So there are some things we did. I know a lot of that growth has happened there. But I'm just looking at trends, just in just some of the growth. You know, we're looking at the sheriff's office has grown by 90% in 4 years, and the jail has grown by 80% in 4 years, and ambulance EMS has grown by 66% in 4 years of this commission. And so I see a lot of trends. I'm just kind of shocked at how much, when you're almost doubling the budgets in 4 year time, which I did not see that in my first 4 years. I'm just concerned about where we're going and how much money we're spending. Thankfully, there's not a tax increase being discussed now, but eventually that does come into an equation when you're spending this much money and that quickly. And so I just do have concerns with the amount that we're putting forward to things. I was glad to see that I guess we're paying down more debt. I wish we were paying down twice as much as we're paying this year for debt service. But I did resonate with one of the speakers who spoke tonight about just the increases in the county budgets. It is concerning when you start looking at percentages in year over year and the amount of growth that we've experienced in certain departments. So I don't know. I do have some issues here. I would like to make an amendment to the budget. I know that thankfully we're cutting what I don't feel the commissioners need to have. I was against commissioner pay my first term. Myself and Commissioner Mo Taylor spoke out against that, and it didn't happen. I'm thankful it's not happening right now. But I would move that instead of paying commissioners more money, that we give the remaining balance of $164,000, $671 to the volunteer fire departments in their budget.
Okay. So
that's an amendment.
There's an amendment to give the, what was the dollar amount? Was it
difference
the exact same dollar amount?
The difference, it's not. It's about $8,000 more than the commissioners pay, but I know that roughly the commissioners pay is $184,000. At least the budget, the line item is $184,000 more than last year. But my understanding is some things have increased beyond the commission's control, such as the retirement that got voted in. So again, these things start compounding. I'm sure some health care, or we don't get health care, but whatever they're charging for things that we have.
Okay, so what was the dollar amount?
The difference between last year's funding for the rural fire protection is I think approximately $164,671, and we just removed $156,000 from the budget. So I know we've got about $52 million in unassigned fund balance as far as our reserves. So I don't think finding $8,000 is going to be too hard of a lift here. I mean, for the rural fire departments.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Mr. Harrison.
Just a question, is this money being dedicated to the coordinator that was asked for?
No, this is go to the fire departments.
Okay, sounds like the amendment that's been made is just to go to the fire department.
Same amount as last year.
Yeah. No one else in the queue. Let's put that one on the board, please.
Each commissioner record your vote.
Okay, so that passes. No one else in the queue. Mr. Klein, you guys are getting sneaky on me here at the very last second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make an amendment to the budget that the amounts for the 2 EMS stations be cut in half each. The expenses on the Westmoreland EMS station were excessive, in my opinion. We didn't need the locations for 2 ambulances. We only needed 1. And when you have a 20 by 60 bay for a 8 by 27 foot ambulance, you could actually get 4 ambulances in the same location. The bedrooms were oversized. The hallways were way more than needs to be. The kitchen is about the size of a commercial kitchen, and the eating living area is about 900 square feet.
Do you have a dollar amount you want? I know you said half, cut it in half, but can you specify what that is for the record?
Let me. $2 million for the Oak Grove EMS and 1.745 for the White House.
Okay, that's the total. You want to cut those in half?
No,
Or
that is.
that is half.
That's the half.
Okay. Was there a second on that? Okay. Okay, no one else in the queue, anyone? Mr. Mayor would like to speak to this?
Yeah, I want to remind the commission that these next two EMS stations will also have dedicated space for our sheriff's department to be able to put substations in those areas as well. So cutting it in half will not only kill the project, it also takes away from our sheriff and our EMS. Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Jones?
With that being said, it just makes more questions. Is some of the sheriff's budget going towards that since they're going to be using that?
This,
Go ahead, Mr. Shepard.
this is a capital
Yes,
expense.
this is capital.
This is a capital expense. It's not.
It's not the sheriff's operating.
Not a sheriff's operating budget.
Okay.
All right. You want to speak again? Oh, okay.
I think that legitimizes my request. We don't know what we don't know about these EMS stations. I had no idea, and I've been on the general operations for 4 years. I've been in the budget for 4 years. I had no idea that we were talking about sheriffs. I think we're putting the cart before the horse here, and I don't think we need to allocate that kind of money for those kinds of facilities until we know what we're going to be doing.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, this was mentioned during the planning process. It was made clear that the sheriff was part of the project. Thank you.
All right, let's put this on the board. What? Go ahead.
I just wondered what health emergency services meeting or Gen Ops meeting that was discussed in, because I was on those committees too for a long time and never heard any mention of that. If the mayor could state that, that would help a little bit.
I don't know if he's going to know the specific month or not, but so he doesn't know the specific. Let's go ahead and put that on the board.
Each commissioner records your vote.
So this is to reduce it. If you vote yes, it's to reduce it in half. Okay, that doesn't get 13 votes. No one else in queue. Let's go ahead and put this on the board. This is the vote for the...
Is this for the main?
Yeah, this
I
is
want to get back in queue real quick.
okay.
Sorry. What I'd like to do is, of the 164,000? I would like to move that 100,000 of that be moved to a one-year contract, to set aside for a one-year contract for a fire coordinator position.
Okay, there's motion and a second. Mr. Mansfield, on this topic or something else?
No.
Okay. All right, so this is moving the, this amendment was to move the 164-ish that we just appropriated the fire departments, to move 100,000 of that over to a fire coordinator's position.
For a one-year contract,
A one-year,
not an FTE.
A one-year contract, not an FTE. Yeah, leaving the other 64 and change to the VFD. Mr. Mayor, would like to speak on this?
Yes, just out of curiosity. Logistics of this, does this include the vehicle, the office space, office supplies? Is it the budget for that office, or is it just the pay for that person and we come up with
This is just a contract for that individual.
Okay, so they'll provide their own vehicle?
That's, it's, what I'm putting in there is for just contract for this individual.
Thank you.
1099.
Okay, Ms. Jadon, can you?
Yes, sir. This is in regards to the amendment on the 100,000.
Yes.
So you want to take away 100,000 to do the coordinator from the 160 plus, am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, and
That's the motion.
yes, and so what I'm going to say is that they actually have requested money to run stations, and that was what they had last year, which was about, they said they were fine, but they're still struggling. So if you take that and add a coordinator with that money, then that takes them into a kind of a deficit. My question is, why not? So my amendment to what you're doing is to grant the $100,000 for a coordinator, but not take it away from the original balance that they wanted for them to run their stations, because if you've ever gone to a lot of the stations, they look terrible and they don't have the equipment they need. So if you're going to do that, you need to fund them to have the equipment and all that they need, but also there should be someone paid to do that if that's what they feel they need, the coordinator. I don't think the coordinator needs $100,000, but I would suggest perhaps $60,000 for a coordinator's position. It has no benefits. It has no insurance, so it's one person coordinating information from those fire stations. I say leave the balance alone that they have, that they're getting with the added money that was previously spoke about, so they're made whole, and then allocate $60,000 out into the budget for them to have a coordinator's position with no benefits for 1 year for consulting, and that way that person will report to the Health and Emergency Services on a monthly basis with what they're doing in coordination with their services. And that's my amendment.
Okay, so you're making an amendment to the amendment. Is there a second on that? Who is that? Ms. Brown, okay. Okay, Ms. Boyd? Can we get her to restate that? Okay. Let me try, and then, so instead of pulling the $100,000 out of the 164 that we allocated a few minutes ago, Ms. Janong is stating, keep that 164 with the volunteer fire departments, and then take an additional $60,000 from somewhere, which we'll need to clarify, but take $60,000 in addition to that for this contracted role.
That's correct.
Okay. Ms. Janong, do you have an idea where that $60,000 would come from?
Out of all the money that we squander, I mean, there's lots of money, so, yeah.
All right. So basically out of the.
Just saying. Right. I mean, I'm not sure where it'll come from, but the budget committee, because I'm not on there.
Okay.
I'm not
all right.
sure.
Mr. Schoaf, do you have any idea where?
I mean, if Ms. Janung is welcome to to make pennies, make penny adjustments to the budget as she sees fit.
We need, I guess, a source of funding for you to.
Yes.
Okay. Let's keep it in order here. We'll come back to that because that's an unanswered question. Who second? Mr. Brown seconded. So we'll come back to that. Mr. Hyde, would like to speak to this? Can you hit Mr. Hyde?
I'm not necessarily for or against a coordinator at this point, but I feel very uncomfortable sitting here as a member of the budget committee and having 100,000 here, 160,000 here, 200,000 there, and it not even going through a study at the budget committee. I'm very uncomfortable with that.
Okay.
Can I respond to that, Mr. Chairman?
Hold on one second. Okay. Mr. Young, would you be agreeable to your amendment to keep the 164 and then ask the budget committee to investigate the coordinator further?
I'd be very happy to do that.
Okay, so I just want to, okay, so that's your, Mr. Brown, okay, the second, so now the amendment to the amendment is to, basically, is to keep the 164, and I'm using that number, I may be off by some change there, but then request the budget committee in this coming month to look at a coordinator's position. So that's the amendment to the amendment. Mr. Harrison, oh, it just jumped out of queue. Okay. No one else in the queue on that. I'm sorry? I was asking, she didn't have to agree with me, yeah.
She was calling for action to be done tonight.
Okay.
Allow her to take that back to budget for next month. So I would ask that we get opinion from legal, whether you're out of order changing her motion, which she made.
Okay. She didn't have to agree with me, but
You were just proposing that. I mean, she could push on with her motion.
yeah, she didn't have to agree to that, so.
Very well.
Thank you, sir. All right, no one else in the queue on this. Let's put this on the board. This is the amendment to the amendment.
And I'd like to get in queue on the next one, once we're back.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. That one's going to fail to get the 13. Okay, Mr. Schoaf?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to a couple comments here. And one to Mr. Hyde's comment earlier, which was where's the funding coming from, which is why I was against this. I was the one person who voted against the additional funding for the volunteer fire departments, and it's not because I hate the volunteer fire departments. It's for two reasons. One, where's the money going to come from? Although, I think given the reduction in the commissioner's salary, it's there. So we have that funding. But the other one is an acknowledgement. I mean, this is the truth. This isn't going to get the volunteer fire departments whole either. And so I don't like things that don't solve the problem. And this doesn't solve the problem. All this does is it's like one more Band-Aid on top of like 900 Band-Aids. I've voted in favor of, I've said that I think we should have a referendum on this issue. I've voted in favor of Mr. Mansfield's suggestions for a subscription service, because these are things that are sustainable and long-term, whereas an additional $150,000 is not going to be sustainable. It's just not. All it does is kick the can down the road. However, I have mixed opinions about this coordinator, but I definitely don't think we want an FTE. I don't think we want to take on a new full-time employee here, but I have been convinced that this individual will be helpful in getting us to a sustainable solution. I really do believe that's going to be the case, and I want to move the ball forward. And so I think this position will help move the ball forward in two ways. Immediately, I think this position, and as part of their duties and responsibilities, fundraising should be at top of their list. The other part of it is to continue to study the issue that we have and bring forward what really is a sustainable and comprehensive plan. And whatever that number is, a real number, maybe it's $3 million, maybe it's $15 million, I don't know what it is, but I want a real solution. So I think that this coordinator, I don't think it's something that should last forever. I definitely, if I was I'm a consultant, you have a period of performance, and we ought to be able to figure out what that is in a year. I think we ought to be able to figure out what that is in a year. So that's why I wanted to do that.
Okay. Mr. Harrison on this topic? Okay, can you hit Mr. Harrison?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
This contract employee, who's hiring them?
Mr. Schoaf, you want to speak to that?
I guess there's a couple I guess we can discuss this now. I just wanted to set the funding aside for it. And maybe we don't have to figure this out on the floor. I would just assume set the money aside and figure out where they're going to come from. I know there's probably two camps. One camp's going to be the county mayor, and the other camp's going to be general ops. I'm sure there are good arguments for either. I'd rather just have the money set aside and take care of that tonight, and we're not going to hire this person in the next 10 days. So I think we can take care of that in the next round of.
Okay. So I just want to repeat what I think I heard. I'm not trying to change your response here. So you're saying that you want to set the $100,000 aside.
That's right.
And then in the coming meeting cycles, figure out how to operate it
we'll
or
have
whatever, logistically how to do it.
We'll put forward a statement of work, who this person
Yeah.
reports to, what their reporting chain is, what their duties and
But,
responsibilities are.
but the key thing in your amendment right now is,
Just the funding.
is to move the $100,000 funding to its own line item.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Mr. Klein on this? Yeah, Mr. Klein.
Point of clarification, that $100,000, is that just coming out of the general fund?
It's moved from the 164 we just,
Okay.
We've already done
Yes.
that.
Okay. I would like it to make an amendment to the amendment.
okay?
Rather than do what Mr. Schoaf is suggesting, I would like to make a motion to remove $150,000 from the $4 million EMS station in Oak Grove towards a coordinator. I say this because I've been on that ad hoc committee. The coordinator is crucial. He can do synergistic stuff for all of those fire departments that they just can't do on their own, because he will have the time to do it. He will put them on a financial program that they all adhere to. He will be able to seek out bargains on equipment, and he will be able to get the benefit of quantity purchases.
Just to point out that the funding is capital versus this would be expense.
Okay,
So it can't, you can't, what you've suggested here can't be done.
even if it's a one-year contract?
Correct.
That's right.
I
was just speaking with
The
our-
answer is correct, yes.
That's correct.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. All right. Mrs. Boyd.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions. Yes, of course, as Commissioner Harrison said, what dates are you looking at? But more importantly, we're talking about, and we've all talked about it before, is the volunteer fire departments are a nonprofit organization. So you're hiring a contract employer that you think is going to work with them, but they don't have to. I mean, I'm not saying they won't, but there's a whole understanding agreement we're totally missing here. We don't know what we're even going to agree with them to do.
The amendment, though, to cut you off there, the amendment is to set that money aside.
Exactly.
And then we'll logistically figure it out through committees.
Well, I don't want to set the money aside if I don't know what the agreement's going to be. The agreement could be...
We're not going to get the agreement tonight, Ms. Boyd.
I understand. That's why I'm thinking that this is the horse before the cart.
Okay, so you can vote no on this amendment. Mr. Jones?
I was next in the queue, but it turned red early, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I agree with Commissioner Boyd. I'm very hesitant to put money aside towards a position, even with a one-year contract on it, because I've heard the whispers from several commissioners where this is going to lead to, and it could very easily be turned into a full-time position, and it also gives the appearance that we are now in the business of having a county fire department, none of which I want to participate in. However, I think if we keep the 164 going to the volunteer fire departments, there's nothing that keeps them from designating that salary for that position, and then they can do exactly what Commissioner Boyd was talking about. They can dictate the terms to that position. And it takes it completely out of the commission, keeps it clean, keeps it away from us, and if it doesn't, then that's for them to manage. We'll see how seriously they want this position with how they budget their money that we give them. I think that's the way to keep it clean, keep the county out of the county fire department business, which is what all my constituents have told me.
Okay. Haven't heard from Mr. Teachner in a while.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the issue is, I mean, everybody is thankful for the volunteer fire departments. That's the truth. But I've been on this commission for 4 years, and I've enjoyed hearing from the citizens when I was on Health and Emergency Services, and then legislative when I'm here. But most of the time, we have volunteer firemen who come out and ask for more budget. but we don't have a lot of citizen input on that for more budget. And although that people would like it, there's a vacuum that is created because either we raise taxes, which I'm not for, because the reason why I'm not for is because they're not for it, or we cut spending. And the only way to cut spending is not to continue to give. That's all you can do. You have to not continue increasing all over year after year after year, and you have to keep government smaller. That's what is best for the people. It's what I was elected on. And as much as I would love for there to be somebody there all the time to be responsible for my family or for anybody that's out on the roads in the county, I get all that. But we have to be responsible for the folks who can't afford more tax increases that are coming hardcore, because there's a lot of conservatives that didn't get elected this year or didn't run again. So just truthfully, it's going to happen in these next 4 years probably. And so I'm against any kind of government bloat, adding any more bureaucratic positions, just completely against that. I can't do it because the people won't want it. And as much as I love the good-heartedness of it and the way it feels like servant leadership and all the things, it comes in disguise, because that's how it creeps up, and we continue to have, I mean, that's how we got the IRS. It was for a good reason. You know,
Okay.
It's always, so that's where I have to stand on it. And I just want to encourage my commissioners all around here to really think about that. Do we really want to continue to increase the size of government against the people's will, or do we want to sit back and allow other things to take place?
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Point of clarification, we have created a scope for this coordinator. So maybe we're putting the cart before the horse a little bit, but I know that being on that ad hoc committee, the VFDs are in pretty tough shape. And I agree with Commissioner Teachner. I hate government bloat, and anybody who knows me would know that. However, I also hate the thought of not having volunteer fire departments and having to create a county fire department. And things have changed a lot in the last 50 or 60 years. This is not just a county problem. This is a state problem and a national problem, that people just don't have time to be volunteer fire department people or volunteer anything for that fact. So what we're trying to do on the ad hoc committee is fill the gaps a little bit. And what I said earlier about the coordinator is true. We have gone through all of these. We have heard from CTAS specialists. We've done everything. And this coordinator is going to be very, very helpful if we can get him in. So I agree with Chairman Schoaf that we want to set that money aside. And I don't believe, unless our lawyer tells us, that this would create a county-wide fire department or anything. This is just an interface between the mayor and the fire departments to streamline things with the volunteer fire departments.
Thank you. Thanks, sir. Mr. Ring.
We've heard from several fire departments this morning or this evening, and they want a coordinator. I'm hoping that if we get a coordinator, the coordinator can work with the ad hoc committee and with the fire departments, and we can come up with a way to permanently solve this problem. We seem to be every other month talking about the volunteer fire department. We don't talk about all the other departments in the county every other month because we have ways to permanently fund them. We need to come up with a way to permanently fund the volunteer fire departments, and I'm hoping that by having a coordinator, that can be helpful. Thank you.
Sir, Mr. Schmidt.
So a couple of things. In one of our committee meetings, it came, I believe it was Health and Emergency Services, about the volunteer fire coordinator. And I had just spoke at what I felt that would be good. He could look at all options, from subscription service to any other ideas any other commissioners had to brought forward to kind of brainstorm and see what the best solution would be. The other thing is all of us, I think, well, I'll speak for myself. I know I was, among other commissioners, invited 2 times to visit the volunteer fire department and talk with some of the men and women over there, what their ideas and thoughts were. These guys don't have time to fundraise. I know that's been brought up, that they could fundraise. We heard from one tonight, 12 hours, $182. It's not a lot of money, obviously. These men and women are working 8-hour, 10-hour jobs to make a living, to put food on the table. I would like to know, for the people that think they can, fundraise, where do they have the time? They work their full-time job, they come here, they serve the community. They're just not a lot of time. They got to have some family time here and there. So I think the dedication they show, we need to get this fire coordinator set up, because I have a small part of my district that is outside of city limits. And to my commissioner to my right's point, is this seems to be coming up over and over, while I hear from constituents in that area that, hey, we need some solutions, we need some brainstorming. So for my constituents that, that I tell them about this fire coordinator, they tell me that's a good idea, let's brainstorm and see if we can come up with a long-term solution. So for me, I think that's the direction we need to go.
All right, Mr. Teachner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to state, my entire district is outside of the city limits. And overwhelmingly, no one has requested that we have a volunteer fire department coordinator or any kind of an extra growth on that. I do love our volunteer fire departments, don't get me wrong, but it's not my money that I'm funding it with. It's some of my money, but it's a large majority of the citizens' money. I mean, that's just the way it is. And so I just want to make sure that we know we got to think with our heads for the folks that we're spending their money. It's not ours. It's not some revenue that just comes from, some blank check somewhere. So as much as I love it, I just want people to consider what it does to the budget and what it does to the future tax rate.
Okay, Mr. Mansfield. Again, we're talking about the amendment to move the 100,000. Just want to make sure everyone's still on that same page. So go ahead.
Milton Friedman said government cannot spend money at nobody's expense. So I have talked to, half of my district is rural. My previous term, a majority of my district was rural. Citizens, I see this as a Pandora's box to moving towards fire tax districts, which my constituents in the county do not want. I've heard the volunteer firemen say they don't want fire tax districts. Because when you start getting fire tax districts, it only applies to the unincorporated taxpayers, property taxpayers, residential. And you're talking about a huge burden. I mean, we talked about increases in funding between departments. And just 4 years ago, the EMS department was getting funded at $12 million. And this year, they're $20 million. That's a 4-year time. The sheriff department, 4 years ago, we were funding them at approximately $15.8 million. Now we're funding them at $29.7 million. So all I see is a huge exponent. This is a Pandora's box. It's just going to, I think, a fire coordinator position will not stop there. I agree with my junior commissioner on that statement. I think it is, it's a place I don't think the county understands where they're going. I made the motion to get us up to $1.3 million last year. And partly is because I see these problems and whatever we can do to help in a little way that they're still willing to self-manage. I'm all for subscriptions. I think that's, I've talked about subscription models and I presented out on the floor last year. And I think that would be a great way to do it. But I am against any kind of coordinated position, growing government, and I just see it as a Pandora's box. But I did want to make a motion. I'm going to amend this amendment. I did find approximately $19,900 in our budget that I want to add to the kitty for the volunteer fire departments. Basically, I noticed that under the commission budget, there was a new line item for $14,400 for a stipend in addition to salaries. I also noticed there's a line item for $5,000 for commissioner travel that was added. Also noticed that a food budget went up from $500 to $1,000. I don't get food as a county commissioner. I do get a bottle of water. I don't know if that's gone up $500 in a year.
They do, during the budget hearings, they do provide lunch since it's all-day meetings.
I mean, I'm all for them. I mean,
I'm just
bring a
answering
sack
that.
lunch, I guess. So I'm going to propose that we cut $19,900 out of the county commission budget. That would be striking $14,400. I'll be striking $5,000 for travel for commissioners and striking $500 from the food supplies. And I'm going to apply that towards the volunteer fire departments.
Second.
And I just
So
basically.
this is amendment to his amendment. So if his amendment fails, this fails with it.
That's all right, I can get back in the queue.
All right.
But so basically, but what I did is I found the $8,000 gap that I was lacking from that 156 that we cut to the 164. I just got us into the 170.
Okay. There's a
We
motion.
have more than enough money.
Is that amendment germane to the amendment that's on the floor? Is that the amendment on the floor?
Sure, it's talking about
It
funding.
is. Yeah.
A fire coordinator.
Yes, it is, because it's taking the money out of the, it's adding money to the pot he's wanting to take out. So, Mr. Mansfield, what was the total amount there?
$19,900.
Nine-
$1440 removed from the commissioner's stipends.
Okay,
$5,000 from commissioner travel.
okay.
And $500 from food supplies.
Okay, let's put that on the board. So a yes vote here would be to move that $19,000 from those categories to the volunteer fire department.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. That amendment to the amendment failed to get 13 votes. Mr. Schoaf.
Well, okay, somebody else is in queue or I was going to shut up. So I was just going to, had to respond with a quote here. Because I do think it is germane. This is from Phil Valentine. Government is there to do only what the private sector won't, can't, or shouldn't do. I think what we're seeing is that I think we have quite a bit of evidence that the private sector is not well equipped to service, to perform fire service. And it's funny, I had a jiu-jitsu event, and it was a lot of fun, and so we ended up talking about this. And I mentioned in that event that I was for a subscription service. And somebody made a very good point. One of the sheriff's officers made a very good point that historically in New York, when that was done by a private sector, there were some kind of shady operations that went around setting fires and were later convicted of it. And so because it puts perverse incentives in there. Now I'm only saying this, we're not talking about a private sector service here or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that I think that I would be against voting for any tax increase. First of all, we're not talking about a tax increase, but I would be against voting for any tax increase without any input from the citizens. Because what we see from the citizens is that we have a fundraiser and we raise $182. So private sector it's not getting it done. And then we hear from our volunteer fire departments that they don't have enough money. And what I can tell you as the budget chair is that we don't have revenue streams to support it at the funding that they need. The way we're currently organized, and with current state with TCA, we are by statute required to maintain sheriff's office, schools, these other things, where we are not, and that's been my position here. And it's why I've been a little more hardcore on this than I would probably like to be, because I want to solve it right. I think that this position, it's a one-year thing. We're not going to, I will not be, I will tell you now, I will not be in support of funding it for a second year unless we have some kind of solution. And if that solution comes back that says, hey, here are our options, let's pick one, or the option is, the best thing we can do is status quo, that's fine. But what I can say is very similar to what Mr. Ring has just said. This keeps coming up and keeps coming up, and it's not going to quit coming up until we find a long-term solution.
All right, thanks, sir. Mr. Teachner. This is on the amendment to move the $100,000.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Okay, so I have an amendment to that amendment. I make an amendment that we move that $100,000 back and do not vote to hire a coordinator. Give it back into the fire department's fund with instructions that they hire a coordinator with that money.
Second.
And as an addition, I move that we take the entire remainder of the county commission budget that is all on our pay related, that whole line item on, what is that, page 25? And just move it all over there too and give it to them also. Thank you.
Okay, I need you to clarify what the amendment to the amendment. So I know the first part, you want to keep the 100,000 at in the volunteer fire department, but with the instruction.
I won't mix it. I'll just keep it with that, just because it's cleaner, and that way people know what they're voting on. I don't want to make it.
Okay.
People want to vote it up or down next time.
All right, so, okay, hold on one second. So your amendment to the amendment is to keep the 100,000, but instruct them to request them to use that money for a coordinator position. Okay, one second. Yeah, the law director just wants it noted that any increase is a nonprofit, a nonprofit contribution. Would that have to be like? It's obviously on the agenda. The money is, so increasing it wouldn't.
Just do the notices as required with that setup, but I would like, if I could.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's let the law director chime in here.
Okay, I'd just like to point out that I wasn't expecting to get hit with this, so I'm having to go back through some notes, but the fire coordinator is a statutory position, meaning that it's only created by the county commission. The executive appoints or hires that person, and then a committee and the full commission has directive over once it's formed. So I do not believe that this could be a validated position that the commission could work with as far as funding, operations, any of that stuff. So this has to be from the county, I believe.
So with that, I'm going to rule this amendment to the amendment out of order. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, we're back to the main amendment of moving the 100,000 to its own line item. And no one else, let's put this on the board. No, let's put this on the board. We're done. Put this on the board. This is the amendment to move the $100,000 to its own line item. What's your point?
My point is that I disagree with what you guys just said, because if you're
Can you hit his mic?
and you're simply requesting them to use a fire coordinator position, has nothing to do with the county. It's not under any statute, doesn't come into the county's purview. So none of what the law director said applies at all. None. So it's strictly, if you're asking them to create their own fire coordinator position and they're going to pay this person as a 1099 contractor, that's not under the purview of the county. They're just using, that's what Commissioner Jones says earlier, is to recommend they do that. We can give them the whole full $164,000 and they can do what they want to. We're just requesting that they use that money to create their own.
So then you would vote no for this amendment then?
I would vote no for, yes, Commissioner Schoaf's amendment. But I would also, I'm going to make an amendment to the amendment.
I've already ruled it out of order.
It's not out of order.
That's my ruling.
I challenge the ruling
All
from the
right,
chair.
let's put that on the board.
Call for division of the assembly.
All right. 13 votes needed to challenge this. So a yes vote here would challenge my ruling there. No, sir.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. All right. We're back to the main amendment. Let's put that on the board. This is to move the 100,000 to its own line item for a coordinator position.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. That amendment fails to get the 13 necessary votes. Mr. Mansfield.
I move to strike $19,900 from the county commission budget, line item commissioner stipend for $14,400, line item $5,000 for travel for commissioners, and cut the food supplies down to $500 from $1,000 for $19,900. I so move.
Okay, there's motion and a second. Let's put that on the board.
Each commissioner record your vote.
That fails to get 13 votes. You have another. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, if you don't mind. Mr. Schoaf?
Oh, no, I was
Okay.
just getting back.
Mr. Teachner?
Thanks, sir. I make an amendment that we take the $546,936 with the, we've already got the deducted 157, but for right now, forget about that, just raise it all the way up to the 546 and just throw that in there, take away all county commissioner pay. Can't do it?
Out of order.
I'm out of order.
Yes,
I'm gonna
sir.
sit down.
Yeah.
God bless everyone.
Mr. Mansfield, back in the queue.
Page 89 in our capital project section, under comprehensive plan, planning and engineering, there's a line item, $213,461. What is that for?
Mr. Schoaf, can you,
What line item is it? Is this for
can
the
you hit
software?
Mr.
Page 89, it's comprehensive plan, planning and engineering, $213,461. We had removed that a couple years ago because that was going to the GNRC. Is that what this is for?
I'll have to, between Mr. Schoaf and Ms. Browning.
Yeah, so, sorry, I thought I was confusing two things on this one. I do think, I might have voted against this one in there, but I think that is for the comprehensive plan for 2035, 2050. I think that's what that was for.
Yeah, I mean.
The contractor of record, I believe, is the GNRC, but you might want to ask the county mayor on this one. Is it not? Who was it? Okay, it goes through planning, so it's not.
Can you
directly the
just,
GNRC.
I know people are watching, can you repeat, Mr. Schoaf, what you
Yeah,
just
so what
learned?
this is for a comprehensive, it's for a comprehensive plan, and I'm mistaken, I thought that for a second that it was going to be conducted by an entity of record as being the GNRC, but that is not correct.
Yeah.
So it's not the GNRC?
It's
Not
yeah.
the GNRC.
Is this still for the in-house
It's
that we had
in-house.
talked about a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Correct.
So this is in-house, not GNRC, for
That's right.
clarification, because I know there's definitely some perceptions and so forth about certain entities. So, Mr. Mansfield, is there another amendment you're wanting to make?
I'm just want to ask a question and make sure what's the total we've done for the highway for the drawdowns for doing the paving? I think it was 2 years ago, we appropriated around $21 million, doing a drawdown every year for, is that?
It came down a little bit. I think it was just shy of 20 by the time it was done, and we've, on average, I think about $5 million a year. I think we have, and Ms. Browning, you can tell me, I think we have about 5.4 left, something like that, maybe less, 5.5. I knew it was around there. So we've got about 5.5. We're on track for the 4 years, right on it.
For paving all the county roads?
For paving, I mean, it was paving those that were in arrears, it's not going to get every single one, but it's going to get those that were 30 years or more.
Okay, I was just confirming that number. For our, the restricted for capital projects local funding, that $28 million, what all is entailed in that, in 5701? It's $28,755,250.
Is that the final line?
Mr. Schoaf,
It's
you want to
restricted
speak
for
to
capital
that?
projects local funding, because here's highway,
Yeah,
which is showing our drawdown.
I'm allowing Mr. Schoaf to speak, but let's make sure everyone understands what y'all are pointing at.
Yeah, I'm
looking
trying
at.
to-
I'm on page 87, and it's restricted for capital projects local funding, 5701. It's the $28,755,250. 2 years ago, that was $9 million. So we're up to $28 million. So what is that for?
Well, I mean, that accounts for some of the things, I mean, that accounts for the.
Is just the totals,
That's
just
the
including
totals.
like for the EMS stations
Yeah,
and
all
all?
of the above.
This is the sum total in this one?
That's
Okay,
right.
That's what I was confirming.
Anything else, Mr. Mansfield?
I'm sure I got other things, but I'll have to sit down for a minute and think about it.
All right. No one else in the queue. Let's put this on the board.
What are we voting on?
This is to approve the county general budget.
As amended.
What was
Well, the amendment was for $156,000 to come out.
Yeah, as amended. The only amendment that passed was the 156,000 moved to the.
No, there were three.
And the 8,000.
I'll restate all the amendments.
Go ahead.
If you'd like me to.
Yes, please.
So the first amendment, which passed, was to carry over $520,997 for the Brown House. The second amendment that passed was the ADA playgrounds carryover, which was $249,290.43. The third amendment that passed was to reduce commissioner pay for $156,902, and then there was an amendment to that, which put that in an additional $8,000, a little more than that, to the volunteer fire departments.
Correct.
Total was 164,671.
Yeah.
That is the budget as amended.
Yes. Okay, let's put that on the board.
Each commissioner records your vote.
I'm going to change my vote to yes.
Okay. Mr. Mansfield changes his no vote to yes. That gives us 11. Anyone like to change their vote? Okay. Mr. Klein, did you vote no and want to change to yes? Okay. That would give us 12. Anybody else would like to change their vote? I'll change it. Okay. All right. So let's, just for the record, let's put that on the board again, Ms. Templeton. Okay. So same vote here, but it's going to be on the board again.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. That passes with 14 votes, 1 abstention. All right. Mr. Schoaf, I'm looking at the clock here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We have a county budget now moving forward for the appropriation, make appropriations, approve corresponding budgets for the Sumner County Schools for for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2027. I so move.
Second. It's a motion and a second. I want to remind people, everyone, including myself, on the school's budget, we cannot make line item, we can vote yes or no. So there's no line item adjustments, vetoes, et cetera, et cetera. Mr. Schmidt.
It's real quick. It's full disclosure. My wife works for the county school system in addition to the city, so any kind of pay increase due to step increases would affect our household income. A couple of years ago, I wanted to abstain from school budgets, but to go real quick, the majority of the citizens request I do not abstain, to vote yes or no, so I will be voting on the school budget tonight.
Okay, thanks, sir. Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make a motion to remove the increase in MOE. The justifications for that is every year.
You're just going to have to.
I believe he's, point of order, but I believe the motion you can reduce the total amount. We just can't make a line item.
Oh, okay.
His motion
So
is just to reduce it to MOE,
funding side.
which is lawful.
Okay.
Second.
I mean, I'm saying I'm for it. I'm just saying it is lawful.
Second.
All right. Let's, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Without objection, or actually, even with objection, we're going to do a 5-minute break here. Law director can look some.
I'm not going to vote for it.
Everything else is up now.
All right, so bringing us back into session. Mr. Klein had the floor, so if you can put Mr. Klein, okay. Okay, Mr. Klein, if you could go back to your amendment that you, because there's a motion to approve the school budget. You're making an amendment, go ahead.
I'm making an amendment to remove the maintenance of effort increase and keep it at the budget level that it is right now.
So there's a required MOE.
Yes.
And you're requesting to move the funding above the required MOE.
Out of the
Out
budget.
of the funding, out of the budget. And do you know what do you have a dollar amount?
It's, is it six? Is it five?
It's about $5.7 million, and just of note, just because I'll help on this one because of the penny allocation, this would come from the increase. There would be no penny change. It would just be removing the additional sales tax that we received, that percentage of it which was going to the schools, which is 50%. So all that's where it would come from. It's a very specific amount, and it's a very specific revenue stream. I'll vote against it, but it is a well-understood change.
And the reason, Mr. Chairman, if I may, is every year for the last 10 to 12 years, they have ended up with a lot of money that they have put in the reserve account that is now overflowing. Tennessee Code Annotated requires about 3% of their budget to be in the reserve account. They've got at least 5 times that amount in it. Additionally, what we give them and what the state and the federal government gives them, they make usually $5 to $6 more million on other points of revenue that goes directly to the schools. They are not adding teachers and workers boots on the ground because the enrollment has dropped. This last year dropped 300 to 400 children. So they're adding office jobs and management jobs, and I don't know why we would need to do that if our enrollment is going down. I could go on for hours, but I think the commissioners understand that of all the departments in the entire county, we've got the sheriffs who are constantly get requirements or requests of officers pulled out from under the budget, EMS, road department. Nobody ever says no to the schools. And they have enough money this year without adding the maintenance of effort to pay the teachers the increases that are required, and they will still have money left over to put in the reserve account. I yield back.
That was your motion. Who was the second on that? Okay. All right, Mr. Mansfield or Teachner. All right, Mr. Teachner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to read this to you just because I always abstained when my wife worked for the school board, but she does not work for this school board any longer. So I'm not going to abstain, but I want to read this to you. State of Tennessee Public Chapter, and I submitted it to the records. If you wouldn't mind, please, I'll ask our attorney to submit it to the official records for the minutes. Public Chapter number 798, House Bill number 2685. And this is an act to amend, and it passed the Senate too. An act to amend Tennessee Code Annotated, Title 5, Chapter 5, relative to county legislative bodies. Be it enacted by the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee. Section 1, Tennessee Code Annotated, it's not very long, by the way. Tennessee Code Annotated, Section 55112, is amended by deleting subsection and substituting instead A1, no member of the legislative body of a county who is also an employee of the same county
or whose spouse is an employee of the same county may vote on matters in which such members has a conflict of interest. A conflict of interest is created under this section when a member is voting on a matter which, if approved by the legislative body, would increase the pay or benefits of that member or that member's spouse. Each vote, this is section 2, each vote taken by a legislative body of a county that has the effect of increasing the pay or benefits of county employees must be recorded electronic vote or by a roll call. Number 3, the vote of any member having a conflict of interest is void if successfully challenged pursuant to subdivision A4. I'm about to read A4. And I'm going to challenge anyone that tries to do that, especially the commissioner who has the spouse who works for the district. After each vote is taken that could involve a conflict of interest under subdivision A4, and prior to the vote being announced by the chair shall ask the members of the legislative body if a member of the legislative body voted in violation of subdivision A1. If the chair finds that a member voted in violation of subdivision A1, the chair shall declare that member's vote void. V-O-I-D, void. Section 2, this act takes effect July 1st, 2024, the public welfare requiring it. And I want to state for the record, I was laughed at by the previous chair for abstaining because of this law. I just want to make sure that it's clear that it's something I'm going to hold to, and I want it put in the minutes. Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Mansfield.
Yeah, I just wanted to reaffirm what Commissioner Klein said. I second that motion because basically, if you look in the school budgets right now, there's over $50.5 million. That really is a pad and in their budgets and the reserves. And an additional $6 million doesn't make sense because it's something that they won't spend based on historical trends of putting money back in the reserves and padding them. But it's just an interesting fact citizens might find interesting that since the tax increase of 2019, the school budget, the total budget was $295 million approximately. And this year, the total budget is about $461 million when you look at all the funding sources. That's a 56.1% increase over 8 budget cycles and $165 million. Now, I know about $57 million of that from the state for the teacher raises. And so you have to factor that in there as well from what the state actually gave for that purpose. But I just don't see where it's necessary to do this based on, again, historical trends. When you look over at statistics and how much money, like a couple years ago when we gave them $5.4 million unnecessarily for athletic funding, they put $17 million back in the reserves the same year. And so that was, and at the time I said I couldn't vote for something that was forged in lives. And at that time that budget was. And so I just see a disturbing trend that has been historically happening for over a decade, for a good 12 years now of this. So I'm in support of Commissioner Klein's amendment to reduce that amount by approximately $6 million and go back to maintenance of effort just because of historical trends. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, sir. And Mr. Shove, correct me if I'm wrong. We as a full commission voted back in February or March to the amount of revenue for the school to use, which was the MOE plus this figure for them to use as a revenue source.
But I don't know what vote that would be.
Like when we gave the school guidance when they're putting their budget
Oh,
together.
yes, we did give, but that was only guidance, the guidance that we gave, I know we did it at the budget and we voted on it as a budget committee. I don't know if we gave that guidance from the floor.
Okay,
I don't know that we did that. I know we did vote, we've done that for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
From the budget committee so that we don't kind of lock horns like we have in the past. And I hope we continue doing that, but I don't know that we did it from the floor.
Yeah, I thought we voted for it or voted on it.
I could be
this
wrong.
meeting, yeah.
I'm coming from memory.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other comments, Mr.
No,
Shove?
I'm just staying in queue in case there are questions.
All right. I'd like to ask our law director to speak to Mr. Teachner's comments at this point in time.
There's a subsection B, and it says that A shall not prohibit a member of a local governing body of a county from voting on the budget, appropriation resolution, or tax rate resolution or amendments thereto unless the vote is on a specific amendment to the budget or specific appropriation or resolution in which the member has a conflict of interest. Then it goes on to say that if a member of the governing body who is voting on the proposed budget, appropriation, resolution, tax rate, or amendments thereto has a conflict of interest or another existing conflict of interest, then the member must declare the conflict of interest at the meeting prior to casting the member's vote. So it's very specific to annual type issues like the budget and things of that nature. Now, if you made an amendment, for example, which we can't do here, but to the pay of that person or their spouse, they could not vote on that specific amendment.
You're correct.
I've got the floor.
There's more to it.
Now, you can get in queue. You're already in queue. I'll get to you. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Mr. Schmidt.
I'll be real quick with this because I'm not a lawyer and a lot of people listening here are not a lawyer. So in layman's term, to respect to the county attorney, by me voting yes or no on tonight's school budget, I'm not in violation of anything. I have already disclosed before we even started debate on this my conflict. So I just want in layman's terms to understand if I'm wrong, please, Mr. County Attorney, tell me. But so for the people listening at home, if I vote yes or I vote no, there's no conflict doing so, right?
Because you've stated your conflict.
Okay.
You're in order.
And I know.
And this is specifically about voting for the budget.
And I know I'm being redundant.
Yeah. No, I understand.
So I'm not trying to.
I would be doing the same thing.
I
if
know
I
there's
was
going
in
to
your
be
seat.
people that you're listening that are just want clarification in layman's term. I'm not trying to be, kind of.
Yeah, there's the exception is because this is the annual budget vote.
And I'll just go on to say, too, I'll really just appreciate the budget chairman and the budget committee working with the schools and having conversations on all of this, whether there's disagreements or anything. I think they've done a great job, and I commend Budget Chair for taking that on for the last 4 years. I know it's not easy. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Now, Mr. Teachner.
Thank you, sir, and I appreciate our lawyer bringing his legal advice, and that is correct. That part right there refers back to, I refer you to A4. Now, whether or not that a legislative body member states they have a conflict or not, after each vote is taken, now you can state it, you should state it before because that way it doesn't have to go to this point. If you don't, after each vote is taken that could involve a conflict of interest under subdivision A1 and prior to the vote being announced by the chair shall ask the members of the legislative body if a member of the legislative body voted in violation of subdivision A1. So you'll ask. If they don't state it, you'll ask, did you vote in violation? If the chair finds a member voted in violation of subdivision A1, the chair shall declare the member's vote void. Back to A1. No member of the legislative body of a county who is also an employee of the same county or whose spouse is an employee of the same county may vote on matters in which such member has a conflict of interest. That is as clear as...
Do you want to read B or you want to leave it there?
No, I just read that. I'm saying B refers
and
back.
And the law director says that you're leaving off the next part, which because this is an annual budget, it's not considered in that same method. So that's my ruling. So that's what we're doing.
Our county commission, state governing authority.
He's reading the same law.
I know, and I'm saying go back to it, read it, and that refers back to the fact that it says it's void, so
Okay,
it can be declared.
I think you've made your point. Okay, but go ahead, Mr. Lauder. Can you give him the mic?
Please put it in the minutes.
regardless. Thank you.
And that's where B starts out. Subsection A shall not prohibit a member from doing those items I just specified. So it specifically says A is not part of this. So we would not go back to A as long as all of B was complied with.
And we're done with that. You've made your statement. You can get back in the queue if you want. You may, Ms. Boyd? Don't, yeah, there you go.
It's on. You're not going to like my comment.
That's fine.
I have taken advantage of the education funding that we did not cancel tonight, and I asked Charlie Curtis, and I know some people in here don't like him, but he is the president of our county commission club, and he said that, he told me, we've discussed this several times, and he told me absolutely what Mr. Teachner is saying.
All right, thank you. Mr. Harrison?
I guess I'm just curious, what is it we're trying to accomplish here? Are we trying to keep somebody from voting after they declared a conflict of interest?
Yes.
Yes, they're trying to not allow.
I just wanted to get that on the
votes
record.
to count. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right. That being said, the law director clearly stated that because this is the annual budget cycle, there is no void of votes going to occur tonight. All right. So there's a motion, an amendment here to, as long as you do state your conflict, which one person has so far, to remove the $5.612 million.
5.612.
5.612, which, again, just pointing out is, I mean, the schools, we, budget committee, whoever, we told the schools this is the amount of revenue. They built their budget off that revenue. If this gets removed, then there's no, I mean, we can't approve the budget, the school budget. So
it's 5.619 million.
Okay, 5.619 million.
For that specific amount.
Mr. Teacher, is this on this amendment, or are you going back to the state law?
Going back to state law.
Okay, I'm not going to recognize you. So let's put this on the board. Hold on a second before you click. So the amendment here is to remove the revenue of the 5.619.
It's to remove the additional revenue, and I didn't make the motion, but I'll say it because I understand it. It's to remove $5.619 million in additional revenue above maintenance of effort for the schools in order to keep them at last year's maintenance of effort.
Okay. All right, let's put that on the board. A yes vote removes the 5.6 million.
Each commissioner record your vote.
Okay. That does not get 13 votes, so it stays in there for now. No one else is in the queue. Let's put this on the board. This is the motion for the school budget.
Each commissioner record your vote.
Anyone like to change their vote? Did anyone have a conflict of interest that didn't state it? Okay. All right. That does not receive 13 votes. So I will, guess we'll move on. All right.
So moving
Hold
on,
real quick.
26.
Just to reiterate, remind everybody rules. You have until we adjourn tonight to change your vote on any of our votes, in case anyone changes their mind. All right, go ahead.
So moving on, 2606-12, to make appropriations to nonprofit charitable organizations of Sumner County for FY, for the fiscal year beginning July 2nd.
Okay. Mr. Teacher on this?
Yes, sir. It's a point of information. Just for the record, I also learned in the county commission trainings that
it's not until the end of the meeting. It can only be changed until it moves to the next thing. So if anybody wants to change their vote, just out of honest.
In our rules, it's the end of the meeting, so.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Hold on a second. Is it about this motion?
It's about the previous vote.
Well, no, we'll come back. This vote, 2606-12 let's put that on the board.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. I will, now that that is dealt with, I will recognize Mr. Reen with a point of information.
Just a question. Could the clerk tell me how I voted on that? Because I may have pushed the wrong button.
On the school budget.
On 11.
Which one?
11.
2606-11. What was Mr.
Just to
Reen?
clarify.
Apparently, we can't view it for right now, so.
Well, but I want to have a yes vote in case I did not vote yes.
No, I understand that. I figured from your comment that's what it was.
I was confused about what we were.
Yeah, so I don't know. Let's move on. 26, Mr. Schoaf, 2606-13.
Approve continuation budgets.
Well, without the school budget being approved, we do need a continuation.
And there's a date in there for next commission.
Say that again.
There should be a date in there for the next commission meeting on the resolution because we don't have enough notice time.
Okay, so the resolution has a date.
It should, yes.
All right, let me pull that up. If anyone sees it before I do. Oh, so be it further resolved that the July County Commission meeting will be moved to July 27th. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so that's part of this resolution for the continuation side.
To make notice requirements.
Okay, for notice requirements. Okay. There's a motion. Was there a second? Second. Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So that's unanimous. Go ahead, Mr. Schoaf.
Appropriate $1,700.
Hold on a second. We're at 2606-14.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Can you get his?
$93,760 for the Portland Airport grant match. I so move.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So that's, any opposed?
Now, item 2606-15, appropriate $1,700 for election commission for redistricting congressional district 6.
It's a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Appropriate $16,022.14 to Drug Task Force for vehicle purchase. I so move.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's unanimous.
Decrease appropriations in general fund by $10,000 for the sheriff's office for reduction in state revenue of a THSO grant. I so move.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Item 2606-18, approve multi-year can copier lease for Nannyberry and Burris Elementary. I so move.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So that's
Item
unanimous.
2606-19, approve multi-year agreement with Corson. I so move.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Item 2606-20, authorize redemption of portion of the county general's obligation school and public improvement bond series 2015 with funds of the county. This is the the debt payoff.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, and second, Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I voted for this in budget, but after a day or two of thinking about it, I'm wondering, don't get me wrong, I'm debt averse myself personally, but knowing what deposit rates are right now and what the bond is priced at, do we know what the difference is, and is this really a good deal for the taxpayer? Because if you, let me explain what I'm talking about. If you have to cash in a $10 million CD at 3.5%, you're paying off a 2% bond, that's not a good deal for the taxpayer. So that's my question.
It's fair. Would you like me to
Mr.
respond?
Shove.
Yeah, and this is a fair question. So this was actually why, because our original move was to pay into a different tranche to set aside $10 million to pay into a different tranche of bonds. And we set a minimum, which I think we were barely going to meet, so that to ensure that we were going to actually get adequate savings above baseline. It didn't quite meet it. This is a little bit of a different scenario in that we are calling debt early. So we are moving, we're not saving any money next year. We're not going to get an additional penny next year like we would have if we would have done it, but we're moving the timeline for debt payoff early by 2 years. So that's the difference here. Whether that is good for the taxpayer or not is up to interpretation. I'll give you a couple thoughts here on it. If the question is, if we were not going to do this, what else would we do with that $9 million? And there's many other things to do with the $9 million, but this is the art. Building budget is not a perfect science, right? Like, what we're trying to do is continue to be able to pay off debt and not put our backs against the wall so we're ever forced into a tax increase. So yes, we could take that $10 million and we could do disbursement with it, but then it's gone. So what we have typically done is put that amount into debt service. And that's what we've done for the majority of the time we've been here. However, what we ran into is that we were doing so much with our debt service that we were subject to arbitrage. So the idea here was, instead of putting it back into debt service that would penalize us with arbitrage, last time we were up to $250,000, we would still be able to affect our debt, but avoid the arbitrage. So that's, and whether that's good or bad, that's what this body is here for. But that was my intent when I discussed it with Ms. Browning and our debt folks.
Okay, thanks, sir. Mr. Harrison, can you put Mr. Harrison back since he was on the floor? Go ahead.
I agree with everything the budget chairman said. What I would like to do, and I'm not saying I'm necessarily against this still, what I would like to do is send this back to budget for 1 month for it to have a little bit more discussion, and Ms. Browning can check some numbers, run some numbers, and see if this is what we really want to do. Because we might even, knowing that we're going to have some capital needs in the future, it might be something we want to take a look at from that perspective too. I'm not saying I might end up still voting for it when it makes it back to the floor. I'm just wanting to send it back to the Budget Committee for 1 month.
So your motion
My motion is send this back to the Budget Committee for 1 month.
Okay, is it defer?
Yes.
So it includes debate, needs 13 votes. Ms. Boyd, on this motion to defer to budget? Is that yes?
So I would concur with Commissioner Harrison. We have a very, very small gain from this. I actually spoke to the people at the comptroller's office that did an analysis on it. They said it's a very thin margin, and we have interest rates so low, and we're all knowing that we're going to build another school in the very near future. This money would go, it makes not a lot of sense to me to give up these low rates where we're looking at getting another bond in the near future, say 2 to 3 years, to build a middle school or elementary, when we're just going to have to go back out into the bond market and pay those fees to get this again. So I would go with Commissioner Harris's idea to send it back to relook at it.
All right, thank you. No one else in the queue. Let's vote. Let's put this on the board. This is the vote to defer to budget, and it needs 13 votes. Okay, yes, we have a second. Thank you. All right, let's put that on. Deferred to budget, just for further study. We're on item 2606-20, the last item on the agenda.
Would be deferring to budget the early debt payoff.
Yeah, that's what
So
this
the
item
main is to pay off debt early. This would be deferring that for a month.
to budget, to further
Correct.
study. Yeah. All right, so a yes vote here is to defer to budget. No vote is to keep it on tonight's.
Each commissioner records your vote.
Okay. All right. Mr. Schoaf, anything else?
Well, we still need to vote on the main. That was the amendment.
No, we
Oh.
voted to defer it, so.
Is that,
Yeah,
we don't have,
that-
then no,
that
I've got
passes.
nothing else, then I rest.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Before we move on from the budget, does anyone want to make a motion to reconsider any of their votes that we just, I'm not trying to put words in anyone's mouth, just want to make sure before we move on. Okay? No one? Someone there in the queue, though. Mr. Teacher, is this on financial management, or? It's on budget? Go ahead.
So, just to be clear, I know that we're still a little bit in limbo on how that one commissioner voted, whether it was yes or no, and it would be the deciding factor on whether that budget passed. And so, I go back and challenge it if it does pass because of votes that were supposed to be voided. Then I challenge legal to go back and look at that and see if it's possible. So
Well, right now, it didn't pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we're clear, because you said you were going to look at it later, and I don't want it to come up later and be like, oh, well, Mr. Teacher, you should have said something.
I don't recall
So
saying
I'm saying
that.
something. Thank you.
No. Yeah, I don't recall that. Ms. Bergdorf, did you have something? Okay. Yeah, I'm not. All right, moving on to financial management then. Who is the chair? Who's going to speak to? Ms. Bergdorf? All right, Ms. Bergdorf.
We met Thursday, and the mayor brought a report from Sumter, and you will have one on your desk right here. It looks just like this. I recommend that you look at it. Sumter brought forth a candidate. There's a link to the video. The mayor will be noticing a July 17th meet and greet reception between 1 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon for elected officials to meet with Mr. Glover. That's my report.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the recognition of public of non-agenda items. Oh, hold on one second, back up. You had a question for Ms. Bergdorf? Okay, I apologize, I missed you. Mr. Jones has a question?
That's okay. Were there no evening hours available for that? Did you guys set that up, or who set that meeting time up for the commissioners?
We did not. We agreed to let the mayor take care of that, so I think that would be something you could work out with the mayor.
Can we ask for some evening hours to be available for that, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look through this. What time is it listed as? Or is it not set? I apologize. I haven't, it's just on my desk. I haven't
Didn't you
read
say
through it.
1 o'clock, Ms. Bergdorf? 1 to 3? Yes?
It's not in the packet.
Okay.
You
So 1 to
read
3.
or announced something.
I told you, yes, 1 to 3 o'clock, but you'll need to write that on your packet.
Okay.
July 17th.
Apparently, it's set up for July 17th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. That's a meet and greet.
I'm just asking that we request
Mr. Mayor,
that.
Mr. Mayor, you want to speak to, can we get an extended hours for, that may not be within a typical workday? I messed you up. There you go.
I'll see what I'm able to do with that. Report
I
back.
appreciate that. I think it's a fair request. Yeah. Okay. Recognition public non-agenda items. I don't believe there was a name. Yes, ma'am. The sheets have gone missing. Somebody probably in the recognition, but you can come up. We trust you. So for these, you'll have 3 minutes, and there'll be a timer up there, and your name, your address, and what the item is, and then you'll have 3 minutes. Hold on one second.
Is it on now?
Yes.
It's on? Okay.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes.
Okay. My name is Mary Cole, and I live at 514 Crowley Lane in Gallatin. And I just want to remind everybody again that your constituents do want term limits. And I also agree with supporting the Brown House and fully funding the volunteer fire departments, but personally not with a city tax for lots of things going on. So that's my comment.
Thank you. Moving on, district events. I have Ellis Middle School. If you all remember, I think this is going to be their 3rd or 4th year, but they came. It's called the Amazing Shake. They're looking for members of leaders throughout the community to come, and then the students there participating in a wide variety of exercises and competitions. I know Mr. Schmidt attended a couple of times. They're looking for more people. If you are interested, let me know, and I can put you in touch with the principal there at Ellis Middle School. The 2 days they're looking for is, I think it's September the 19th, I believe, and September the 15th, I apologize, September 15th and October 13th. Both are Tuesdays. But if you're interested in that, just let me know and I can put you in touch. Anyone, it looks like several people have some announcements. Again, we're not regurgitating anything. This is announcements, events that are happening in your district. Mr. Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to announce, it seems like it's a week late, but I think there's a reason for that. On July the 11th at Richland Park in Portland, the Highland Volunteer Fire Department will be putting on their annual fireworks display. I personally think it's the best one in the county, so I encourage everybody that wants to attend, please come up and visit us in God's country. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Mayor, you have a similar type of announcement?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. On July 4th at 9 a.m. here at the Veterans Park, we will have an unveiling of a monument dedicated to the Revolutionary War heroes from Sumner County. So we'd love everybody to attend that. And then after that will be the parade with the American Legion that will be in Gallatin. And then after that, on July 8th, we're having our big America 250 celebration on the square. It'll start at the new courthouse, and then it'll migrate over to the square where we'll have live music, we'll have reading of the U.S. Constitution, food trucks, bands, all kinds of reenactments. Reenactors will be dressed in period wear and talking about the history of Sumner County. And then we will end with a 200 drones in the air with a patriotic air show that will certainly be a sight to see. So encourage everybody to get there. It starts at 5 o'clock. Hope you get there a little bit early. Make sure you have a seat and enjoy it.
And that's on the 8th. It starts at 5 p.m.?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it's on the 8th.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mr. Teachner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I go to Long Hollow Church, and it's a little bit in advance, but they have a huge men's conference every year. I think it's August 8th this year, and I don't even think it's on campus. I think it's actually in Nashville, but it's a big event, and you can find out at longhollow.com if you want to go. But it's just awesome. I recommend all you guys take your kids, grandkids, buddies, or whatever. It's just
It's a pretty cool thing, and I don't know if there's a cost for the event. There probably is, and if there is, you know, if somebody had in the community want to go and had trouble making it, I'm sure that they would probably waive that or something. I don't want to speak for them, but it's worthwhile.
All right, thanks, sir. Mr. Shove.
I just wanted to say openly that I very much volunteered for the event in Ellis because my daughter is starting there next year, and I hope thoroughly to make her think I'm cringe. So there we go.
All right.
One date and what's on the calendar is another.
Yeah, so the question is about the July date. So the continuation, so 2606-13, the continuation budget, which we needed because we did not pass the school board budget. In that resolution, it moved our July meeting to July 27th. That's good question, good clarification. Mr. Teacher, another announcement?
I just forgot to say, this will be the last time we get to meet before the 250th, and so happy anniversary, America.
Right. Appreciate it. Motion to adjourn.